I started to, I joined Facebook in 2008 when my age cohort was joining, my friends were joining, so they were urging me to join. So I joined, and I was immediately struck, as I think everybody is, if they remember that experience of joining social media for the first time, at how completely uh, your life is transformed, your relationships, your inner life. So a year later, in 2009, I wrote an essay that the editors called "The End of Solitude," where I was trying to reflect on what this experience was like, what was happening here. Um, and I talk about solitude uh, as a very particular kind of thing, right? There's the objective state of being alone. You can look at someone and see whether they're alone or not. But there are very different ways to experience that state. There's a negative version that we call loneliness, where that solitude feels empty and frightening. Um, and that aloneness feels empty and frightening. And then there's solitude, which is a kind of full experience of the self that can only take place, and of the world, really, that can only take place when you are able to um, kind of shut down the social inputs, right? I mean, the thing about social media is that societies, the world is always with us, as Wordsworth would have said, when we're on social media. It's impossible to get away from the group and what the group wants of you, from what your friends expect you to be. And I saw social media taking away this experience that had been for a long time kind of a central experience of being human, of being a modern human, where you're able to draw the line between, where society stops and you start. Um, and I think, I mean, it's related to some of the things that we've been talking about. I mean, I see this. This is one of the things I saw among students, that they didn't have the ability to develop a self that was solid enough, that was strong enough, that was self-confident enough to push back against the expectations that were being placed on them. And that was a lot of the reason that they struggled to find a sense of purpose. And look, I mean, like I said, that essay came out in 2009. That was before people had iPhones, right? I mean, the iPhone, I think, debuted in 2008, but it really didn't achieve, major penetration for several years. So I was talking about a situation where you'd look at Facebook on your laptop, and then you'd close your laptop and you'd go about your business. Now we have TikTok on our phones, and it is just constant. I mean, I don't think more needs to be said about this. People have been talking about this for a long time. Um, but it interacts with some of the other things that we've been saying. Who are the people, well, one thing that it interacts with is the misery that I had already identified among my students, that I had already seen among my students, the unhappiness that this constant competitive meritocratic rat race was creating in them, has now been doubled and redoubled by social media and the iPhone. So it's even harder for them to get distance you know, from the expectations that are being placed on them, to become somebody who might actually be a slightly different kind of person than the same exact meritocratic product that we've been mass producing for a long time.